It's finally here, folks. And after a long wait of way more years than we want to think about, we have the much-anticipated fourth entry in the Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi series. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is one of the most talked about games of the year, and it's easy to see why. The excitement is crazy, especially since the franchise has grown significantly since the last Budokai release. The game will feature a plethora of new characters. Following the fantastic fighting experience of Dragon Ball FighterZ, can they achieve a similar level of quality in an open 3D fighting game? The answer is a definite yes, though there are a few minor bumps along the way. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero delivers the nostalgic feel of classic Budokai games. If it works, don't mess with it. You have two basic attacks, Ki Blasts and special moves that you can unleash after building up enough Ki. You can gather Ki by landing hits on your opponent or by holding down the charge button. It's a smart strategy to interrupt your opponent's Ki gathering, but Ki can be utilized in various ways. Would you prefer to maintain your distance and fully charge your Ki gauge to unleash a devastating move that can take out 3 bars of your opponent's health in one go? Or would you rather use your Ki to teleport behind them and unleash a rapid series of combos before they can recover? Some characters come with unique abilities or attacks tied to their Kai, which can give them an edge over others. The game may not always feel balanced, as it seems the developers considered character lore, resulting in some characters being significantly stronger than others. I haven't had the opportunity to try out all the characters yet, as the campaign is quite extensive and unlocking all characters requires multiple playthroughs. However, I'm eager to see which characters will dominate, particularly in online and competitive play. In this game, you engage in one-on-one duels, or sometimes team up for battles in expansive 3D arenas inspired by memorable locations from the series. Each setting is beautifully crafted in vibrant cel-shaded 3D. The character designs are lively, showcasing just the right amount of exaggerated movements during their attacks. There's an abundance of particle effects, and I really appreciate the meticulous attention to detail, both during and outside of combat. When two characters face off, unique dialogue interactions can occur, and one of my favorite touches is watching the Ginyu Force strike their goofy poses whenever they enter a charged state. Dragon Ball. Sparking Zero takes you on a journey from the very start of Dragon Ball Z all the way to Dragon Ball GT, including Dragon Ball Super. You get to experience the story through various playable characters, but your battles are limited to those that are directly related to your chosen character. For instance, if you play as Goku, you'll only participate in the fights he was involved in, while other events are presented through artistic still images without narration. This approach can feel a bit lacking, as it might have made the storytelling more immersive. Fortunately, key moments featuring your character are enhanced with beautifully crafted cinematics. Throughout the story campaigns, there are instances where you can make minor choices that lead to different story paths. For example, at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, Goku can team up with Krillin to face Raditz instead of Piccolo. I found this intriguing as it hinted at the possibility of exciting branching narratives. While some of these choices lead to unique battles and scenarios, many encounters don't significantly change the overall storyline. Additionally, there are separate scenarios unlocked outside the main campaigns, allowing for some quirky custom battles that add a bit of fun. Some of these are a bit far-fetched, like Turles somehow surviving the Tree of Might and returning to challenge Goku before the Buu saga. Others are more lighthearted, such as the Great Saiyaman shooting a movie featuring giant monsters, where he faces off against 3 oversized characters from the roster. Though these moments inject a lot of enjoyment into the game, especially if you find yourself weary of replaying the same classic Dragon Ball storylines. The challenge level when facing the CPU feels well balanced, with only a few instances of significant difficulty. In one-on-one battles, your speed is the primary focus. The CPU often employs tactics like juggling and maneuvering behind you, favoring quick movements and teleportation over flashy finishing moves. Mastering guarding and dodging is essential, as there are specific button inputs that let you counter at precise moments, allowing you to break free from a juggle and recover mid-air after being knocked away, which can be a lifesaver against powerful attacks. However, the difficulty can become a bit uneven with certain characters. Personally, I find battling the larger characters quite frustrating. Although they have bigger hitboxes, some of them match the speed and blocking capabilities of smaller fighters, while dealing significantly more damage. I've lost count of how many times I had to retry the fight against the giant monkey, especially since the battle kicks off with a beam blast right to your face, and he can easily shoulder tackle you into a wall. During key story moments, the game often pits you against 3 characters in a row with a shared health bar. While this fits the narrative and the game allows you to tweak the difficulty if you struggle too much, it doesn't create the smoothest difficulty progression. Some of the battles were made a bit trickier due to the game's optimization issues. I played the PC version, and I believe my setup is more robust than average since I often play online and manage multiple programs simultaneously. However, the frame rate was quite inconsistent. This was especially noticeable during transitions between story scenes and match setups, and there were times when the frame rate would drop in the midst of intense combat. The camera also posed some challenges. Typically, it would stay focused on your opponent, keeping you either facing them or circling around. Yet, there were moments when the camera would get stuck, show through the floor, which was quite disorienting, or completely lose track of the opponent. Interestingly, I encountered these issues mainly while playing through the story mode rather than in online matches. Although the loading times for matches were lengthy, they weren't nearly as problematic. The game is definitely playable, but I wish the PC port was better optimized. On a brighter note, the soundtrack and voice acting are standout features of the game. Whether featuring new or returning actors, everything sounds fantastic. I appreciate how well crafted some of the scenes are, giving them an extra flair that feels refreshing. The music is exceptional, blending familiar themes that resonate with longtime fans while also introducing new renditions and tracks that give it a contemporary Tenkaichi vibe. This game is a thoroughly expanded and updated version of Budokai Tenkaichi. If you weren't a fan of the previous titles, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero probably won't win you over. Even though there are many characters, each one feels unique with their own moves, special attacks, and finishers that seem to leap straight from Toriyama's manga. The what-if scenarios are enjoyable, and there are numerous unlockables, including different outfits and playable characters, plus the battle system accommodates various playstyles. However, a few issues like optimization and character balancing prevent it from achieving a perfect score. Still, since the game seems more focused on celebrating the franchise rather than being a flawless fighting experience, I have to rate it highly, and I hope we get awesome updates to keep it alive for the long haul. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more updates.